James Comey will appear before the Oversight Committee this morning. For more on that, let's bring in Steve McMahon, Democratic strategist and co-founder and CEO of Purple Strategies, and Tony Fratto, managing partner of Hamilton Place Strategies. Steve, let me start with you. I understand. For me, I understood what Director Comey did. I think I've likened it, as other people have, to Justice Roberts not wanting to be the news of not wanting to stick a dagger in Obamacare, wanting the voters to do it if it ever happens. And I think Comey is going to let voters decide as well. I'm not sure, though, Steve, that the FBI, which is in the business of deciding whether something is against the law or not, really, and then the prosecutor can decide whether you can make a case. For the first 14 minutes, he seemed to present evidence that the law was broken. That was the take a lot of people had. Was that your take, Steve?
Well, I think he presented a lot of evidence that the law is maybe loose with respect to what the expectations are, and it will tolerate these kinds of circumstances. And I think he probably would expect Congress to tighten it up in some respects. Yeah. I mean, Hillary Clinton has made the point many times before that what she did was not unique or the first time. Now, obviously, there were rules, and she should have done it differently. She said that herself. But I don't think there was a lot of news there. He did lay it out like a prosecutor, but remember, he was a prosecutor for a very long time. He was a former U.S. attorney, and he served in the George W. Bush administration, so he's a pretty respectable guy.
The de facto, if you read the statute itself and you align the statute with what he presented in the first 14 minutes, it was against the law. But that's the letter of the law.
Well, no, hold on. The statute requires, I'm a lawyer, so the statute requires intent. And I think what he found was that there was carelessness, there was extreme carelessness.
She got a private server to make sure that, I mean, the intent was she wanted it kept secret. And so I don't know.
She did want it kept secret, but there has to be intent to violate the law with respect to classified materials. And what he found was there was no intent. There was carelessness, maybe extreme carelessness, but he also found that no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute this case.
It's not the same. If I run a red light because I'm careless, can I tell the cop that I didn't intend to do it? It's not the same thing. Am I conflating things that aren't? Or if I leave my kid,
you are conflating things, because if there's a picture of you doing it, there were 5 mitigating factors, each of which he went through, all of which, by the way, applied in the Petraeus case, or many of them did, and they didn't apply here. He said that they can't find a single instance of a prosecution with this set of facts. And I think Chaffetz and all the clowns up in the House of Representatives today are going to get their clocks cleaned, because James Comey is much better prepared for this than they are.
Well, having James Comey as competent and as good as he is was not a favor to your candidate. I can tell you that much just from watching that 15 minutes the other night,
But having him reach the result, that he did was the guy has been beyond reproach his entire career.
Bill Daley kept calling it an exoneration.
Yeah,
he kept saying it was an exoneration. It was like Baghdad Bob was right here. We got him on the run. They're at the gates.
Bill Richardson.
Bill Richardson.
Here's what it was.
Bill Daley.
Here's what it was. Here's what it was. It was finality, which the Clinton campaign needed.
Exoneration.
It came from a. Oh, go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
No, but I hesitate to go to Tony at all, because I guess I'll let Tony talk about Hillary Clinton as long as you don't get on the Republican, because you and Steve are, I don't know who's worse for Trump's prospects. Tony. You remind me of.
On Trump, we might be in the same way as Trump, but I'm the guy who actually gives tens of thousands of dollars of my own money to support Republicans, Joe.
All right. No, but I was looking up what the establishment Republicans are. So he's got more votes than any other Republican. And I found
there are more people than there were.
I know, but I found the dodo bird. And I've said, is the dodo bird extinct, or is it? And it actually is extinct. You're not extinct yet as an establishment Republican. But do you know why the dodo bird went extinct? Because it didn't have any competitors, so it never had to fly on the island of Madagascar, so it lost its ability to fly.
Do you know how the establishment got to be established, Joe?
I watched it happen, and you apparently missed it, Tony.
By winning elections. We got established by winning elections.
That's a very good point.
So we'll see the test, and I worked for the guy who won the only popular.
McCain and Romney. I must have missed what happened with McCain and Romney and the first Bush. I don't know.
I worked
got
for the
lost on the.
I worked for the guy in
left turn
between them.
Albuquerque.
I worked for the guy in between them who won those elections. So
I know, and ushered in the.
God, I love this.
And
This
ushered
is-
in the
this is
Barack
great.
Obama era.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tony, when you say things like the vice presidential field is slimming down for Trump only because most normal Republicans are running as quickly as they can away from him, and the only two people that might accept it are Gingrich and Christie because they have no future in politics anyway. That doesn't sound like a guy that's going to oppose Steve on our show, on The Viewpoint.
Well, look, I mean, I can oppose Steve on basically on everything he said about Hillary Clinton's handling of this situation and classified material. As someone who has had to handle classified material and been trained on it multiple times and understands it, her position on this was completely untenable and really misled people and the media consistently through it. And I thought the case that Comey laid out was pretty devastating. Whether it's something that could be prosecuted or should be prosecuted, that's a different point.
Right.
But I can tell you that this idea that she didn't know what she was doing was just not tenable at all. There's this culture of paranoia around the Clintons that they feel like everyone's out to get them. But the truth is, everyone's out to get everyone. That doesn't mean you get to make up your own rules and set up your own systems outside of the system that everyone else has to comply with. So I thought it was pretty devastating and damaging to her. I know, look, I still think odds are that Secretary Clinton ends up winning this race, but she's crippled as a candidate.
Yeah.
But by the way, listen, I haven't been a huge apologist for Hillary Clinton on this thing, but there's a question about what she knew and what was important about it. So, for instance, she definitely knew she had her own email system, but so did previous secretaries of state. She probably knew, and it sounds like she should have known. It sounds like she should have known that some of the material passing through that system was classified,
Yeah.
but there's no evidence of intent. So, I mean, the law requires very specific things, and we live under still a rule of law in this country, and not just a whimsical kind of what are the Republicans in Congress want.
Even the assistant director of the FBI, the former assistant director of the FBI, who was with us yesterday on this program, said that extremely careless and negligent are identical twins. I think those were his
there's a new
exact
category.
words.
Well, they're not, as a legal standard, by the way, as a legal standard, they're absolutely not. James Comey is the director of the FBI, not the former assistant director, A, and B, he's a former prosecutor. He worked for Rudy Giuliani. He brought down the mob. He prosecuted Martha Stewart.
She didn't intend to break the law. That's never been the issue with intent. She intended to install
exactly
the
the
server.
issue.
She intended to send the emails.
Of course she did.
I
And
mean,
that wasn't illegal.
grossly
you
negligent.
could get out of every
How
crime
many
you
lawyers?
ever commit
How many
by saying,
lawyers?
I didn't mean it.
How many lawyers are in
I
this
didn't
segment
intend
today?
to.
How many lawyers are part of this conversation today?
Maybe you're the only lawyer,
One?
maybe you're the only lawyer, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who was trained in handling classified information. And the thing you need to understand with Hillary Clinton...
Are you trained in prosecuting cases, Tony?
Sorry, no, and I'm saying prosecuting is a different standard. What I'm telling you, you say talk about intent. Hold on just a second. She is a lawyer, and she has been trained on how to handle classified information. Her view that as a Secretary of State that she can produce communications that aren't classified is bonkers. She is her communication. If she relays a communication of her conversation with a head of state of another country, that is implied classified. So I think she's taking advantage of people who do not understand what classified means.
Well, but here's the question that James Comey was asked. Here's the question James Comey was asked to answer, which is, was there evidence that laws are broken here that should be prosecuted? And the answer is that he reached a Republican from George W. Bush's administration, who's also trained in handling classified material. The conclusion he reached was no reasonable prosecutor would bring this case.
Right.
He was a hero to the Republicans until yesterday or 2 days ago. And he's gonna savage them on the hill today.
I'm an admirer of James Comey, and I'm not being critical of him. Look, I think he made a decision that he was not going to be the one to completely upend a presidential race and make that decision on his own. He said, I'm going to present the case to the people.
Yeah. Hey, Tony.
Well, I think he made it. That's not the way he explained it, Tony. So you can suggest he's lying, but I don't believe he is.
I gave you tough love,
You can imply he's lying, but I don't believe he is.
Then you rose to the occasion, Tony. You did, man. You rose to the occasion. Thank you. You saw the classified, so you were very useful. Thank you. I tough love. See, I lit a fire.
That's you.
Thanks, John.
And Steve, thank you. We appreciate it.
Tony and I still agree about Trump, by the way.
Indeed.
We'll have you back on Saturday.
Thank you.